Hi, Monica. Hi, Christina. Hi, Laura. Ciao, Laura. So this is a different location for Tipsy Tuesday. This is my living room. Let's see, who else is here? Hi, DJ. Good morning from Las Vegas. Oh, it is morning there, isn't it? It's evening here. Hi, Kathleen. Hi, Christy. Hi, Rena. Good, so people are here. Sherry in Maryland, good to see you. Chicago. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Sharon. Everybody's here. Good. So today is Tipsy Tuesday. Oh, hi, New Jersey. People from all over. Susan from Maryland. Lots of people from Maryland today. Sharon from Maryland. Jennifer, hi. Oh, the Llama Bros from the West Bank. Hello to Bethlehem. Good to have you here. It's always nice when Bethlehem is represented on Tipsy Tuesday. I can't wait to go back to Bethlehem. I really miss it. Amy, hi in St. Louis. Christine in Calgary. Vicky in San Diego. Sharon was worried I had when I had COVID when there was no Second Cup Saturday. No, but I wasn't feeling well. But it wasn't COVID. Hey, John in Kentucky. Father John in North Carolina. Good to see you. Hello to California. Good, lots of people from all over. So today's Tipsy Tuesday is from my apartment and has nothing to do with Second Cup Saturday. So we didn't do Second Cup Saturday this week because I wasn't feeling well. It wasn't the virus. I just was kind of worn down and didn't feel like going out and doing the whole thing. So canceled Second Cup Saturday. Sorry about that. Hopefully that won't happen again. But today, in Rome, again, we have to close the restaurants and bars at 6 o'clock. And so when I do Tipsy Tuesday, I have to go out at 5 o'clock and drink. And I don't really enjoy that much. And it's still really early for people back home. Hopefully they're going to lift those restrictions soon. Because Rome is doing really well. It's still a yellow region. Many of the other regions of Italy are switching from red to orange or orange to yellow. So things are definitely improving. And so hopefully, I'm really hoping they lift that 6 o'clock restriction so that we can continue to do Tipsy Tuesday at the proper time, which is now, but from a bar, which is how I envisioned it. But today we're doing it from my living room because I wanted to go back to the 7 o'clock time this week. I didn't feel like going out and drinking at 5 o'clock this afternoon. And so I can drink from home. So this is wine, very simple, red wine. If you can, I don't know if you can read that. That says Pugliese. It's one of my favorite restaurants. So my wife and I, we like to collect dishes from our favorite restaurants where we eat. So we have glasses from different places. This is a wine glass from Pugliese. I've actually done a Tipsy Tuesday from Pugliese. That was a few months ago when I took Amelia. So anyway, Tipsy Tuesday from my living room. I don't have any backdrop or anything because it was kind of last minute that I would have it right here at my dining table. So anyway, yeah, Tipsy Tuesday from home. As I mentioned, things are improving here. Today we only had 19,000 new cases. That's dropping from no, we don't steal them. Do you steal the dishes? No, we ask and they give them to us. Yeah, they just give them to us. We're at these places all the time, so they know us. And they know that we appreciate their dishes. And so they're like, sure, you can have a wine glass or a sambuca glass or a coffee mug or something like that. Yeah, we don't we don't steal them. Anyway, 19,000 new cases today, down from like 35,000 a few days ago. So whatever they're doing is working. We still have to wear masks outside, which is annoying. And like I said, restaurants closing at 6. But no new restrictions. They still say that Christmas is probably, we're not going to be able to travel between regions unless it's like for a valid reason. I think the prime minister said, or somebody said, that Jesus is going to be born 2 hours early this year because of our curfew. We still have a 10 o'clock curfew, and so there's no midnight mass this year. It'll have to be earlier. So I thought that was kind of funny. I didn't really like it because I was hoping for a midnight mass this year, but it is kind of funny that he said Jesus will be born 2 hours early this year because of the curfew. So yeah, so for those of you just joining, Tipsy Tuesday from home today because of the curfew, and I just didn't feel like drinking at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm drinking at a normal time, 7 p.m., red wine from my living room in a non-stolen glass. Remember that, people. The glasses that I have from restaurants, the dishes we have from restaurants are not stolen. They were given to us. But yeah, so I think a lot of people are going to miss midnight mass this year. I know the Pope canceled events at the Vatican to the public, closed them to the public like a month ago or something. But I was still hopeful that the rest of the churches in Rome would be able to have the midnight masses. But no, it looks like that's not going to happen. So that's too bad. I don't know if you noticed, yesterday I posted a picture of the tree going up. A lot of people posted like around the Vatican news site. So the Vatican tree is up. They'll be decorating it over the next 2 weeks. Well, I guess 10 days. The official lighting is the 11th. So December 11th, they'll do the lighting of the tree. And I'm really hoping it's pretty this year because the nativity looks ridiculous. I don't know if you've seen pictures of that, but it's not very pretty. I'll show you more pictures once it's officially unveiled. They've only shown like pictures from where it's coming from. It's coming from the Abruzzo region. It's made of ceramic, and it was all made in the 60s and 70s. I think there's like 50 something pieces. They're not putting them all out at the Vatican, but baby Jesus looks like a little kid toy with little curly blonde hair, fat face, and a tubular body. There's this tall angel that kind of looks like a spark plug that's standing over the Holy Family, and it just looks awful, in my opinion. And even like the setup they're doing for it, it looks like it's like all this white tubular metal. I don't know. I'm not a fan so far. Last year was really nice. The year before that, we had the sand. That was interesting. It was nice. It was interesting, like the sandcastle nativity. And the year before that was the real controversial one. That's where they had like the muscular naked guy and the dead the dead lady with the hand hanging out. Donna says nothing good comes from the 60s and 70s. I've come from the 70s. Maybe no good artwork comes from the 70s or liturgical stuff. But yeah, so hopefully the tree will be pretty because the nativity doesn't look like it's going to be pretty. Leslie says her parish is allowing a 2 p.m. vigil mass. That's crazy. I know that churches are doing that. Like my church back home in Atlanta, we would have the children's mass pretty early in the day. But, midnight mass is midnight mass. It's not 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 10 p.m. I saw more people just jump on. So Tipsy Tuesday today is from my apartment. I am at home in my living room because I didn't want to go out drinking at 5 o'clock this afternoon. And I wanted to keep the Tipsy Tuesday time like normal, back to normal. But probably next week I'll go out again to a bar just earlier. Yeah, this week it's in my apartment, drinking red wine out of a Polese glass. Hi, Amanda. I see that you're here. Let's see. Vicky's talking about the nativity. I've seen pictures. It is ugly, yeah. It's definitely ugly. What do the Romans think about Joe Biden? I don't know. I haven't heard any Romans at all ever talk about Joe Biden, so I have no idea what they think of him. So, yeah, I don't know. What else was I going to talk about today? Yeah, so Second Cup Saturday I canceled because I wasn't feeling well. Not Corona, I don't think. No, I know. I just wasn't feeling well. I was tired and worn out, and so I just slept most of the day. I feel better now. But that's why it was canceled, for those asking. Tomorrow is my oldest daughter's birthday. She's going to be 16. And so that's exciting. Her last day is a 15-year-old. So yeah, she'll be 16. And then we can start doing Christmas. We don't allow any sort of Christmas stuff until after her birthday because we don't want them to like clash. So we'll start doing some Advent Christmas decorating after tomorrow. I'm excited about that. And yeah, it is weird that she's going to be 16, that I have a 16-year-old. It's crazy. She won't be doing any driving. None of her friends drive here. So, yeah, no driving. She could drive a Vespa now. She's already legal age for that, but I won't allow that. Although it would be nice to have her drive me around on a Vespa sometimes. You would enjoy a tour around the apartment. I'll do that sometime. Not today because it's kind of a mess. But yeah, I'll do a tour of the apartment. How are the tacos? Did the cheddar live up to the expectations? Yes, I'm not old, Amanda. She's old. I haven't aged. She's just getting older. She'll be 16. The tacos are really good. We were able to find the cheddar cheese. Did we talk? Yeah, I talked about that last Tipsy Tuesday. We found the cheddar cheese. So we had tacos for Thanksgiving. And did I mention, I don't know, I remember, when did we go to the market? Oh, I went to the market on Wednesday, right? And then, so I was talking last Tipsy Tuesday that I was going to go to the market to get cheddar, right? I think so. So yeah, we found the cheddar, and then we got home, and I ate all the cheddar. And then, so the next day, my kid had to go back and buy more cheddar. So yeah, we had the tacos on Thanksgiving. It was really good. And then we had leftover tacos the next day, and that was really good. So yeah, it was good. It was a nice treat. And whenever we get back to the States, whenever that is, we will have a traditional Thanksgiving. And that's actually something we do a lot. Like if we go back in March, for example, I'll tell my parents they have to make a full Thanksgiving dinner. I don't tell them, I ask them. And so, yes, we always get to have Thanksgiving, even if it's not on Thanksgiving. Hi, Honey Joe. Hi, Dawn in Michigan. What age can she get a driver's license here? I don't know. I know that at 14, they can legally drive scooters. But none of my daughter's friends do that. So I don't quite know the rules. We don't really keep up with the rules of like driving because we don't have a car and we're not really interested in driving around here. My wife chimed in and said at 18 they can legally get a driver's license here. Hi, Sherry in Vegas. How you love the market tour? Good. I like the market tour too. I would like to do another kind of more official market tour at the Trionfale Market because really we were just on a quest for cheddar cheese, so it was a little quicker than I would have liked, but maybe take some time and talk to other vendors and show you close-ups of the fruit and stuff. Amanda asks what I'm drinking. I am drinking red wine out of a Polese glass that I did not steal. Someone asked if I stole it. No, we didn't steal the Polese glasses. Driving in Rome is an adventure. I wouldn't know it because I don't want to drive here. So if we have to go anywhere, we take trains. No driving. What question just popped up? Kathleen says the markets are massive. Yeah, and that's the biggest market, the Trionfale market. That's the biggest one, I think, in all of Rome. But there are a lot of other markets that are kind of like specialty markets that I can take you to at some point as well. There's like one place that focuses on fish, and that could be fun. I'm really just kind of answering questions. I don't even have any stories today. I just wanted to tell you that it's my daughter's 16th birthday and that I'm not dead after missing Second Cup Saturday. What kind of tacos? Beef. Beef tacos. My parents are in Atlanta. Hi, Valerie in Minneapolis. Yeah, so we're from Georgia. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. So my parents are just outside of Atlanta. Typical rent for an apartment, it varies depending on where you are. We're right by the Vatican. There are some studio apartments on our street that go for a couple €1,000. But we got really, really lucky, and our place is a lot less than that, and it's a 2-bedroom. So yeah, it just kind of depends. And the further out, the cheaper it gets. What else was I talking about? Oh, we also have confirmation coming up. My daughter that turned 16, she gets confirmed next week, so that's exciting. Oh, and that's going to interfere with Tipsy Tuesday because confirmation's on Tuesday. So I'll probably do like a Tipsy Monday or Tipsy Wednesday instead because the confirmation will be right during the Tipsy Tuesday time. So I'm not going to bump her for that. Why no beautiful artwork? We do have beautiful artwork here. It's just not behind me. We just got some new furniture within the last few weeks, and we took stuff off the walls, and some of it's like stacked up against the walls. So we still haven't quite finished decorating stuff from then. But I talked about that on a few of my Second Cup Saturdays, how we had to go out and buy new furniture because the apartment owner took all of her stuff back. What else? What else? Christmas tree decoration. Oh, we just talked about that. The nativity's awful. So hopefully the tree looks good. Some years the tree looks beautiful and some years not so much. I think last year the tree looked really nice. So hopefully they do a good job. And the other Christmas tree in Piazza Venezia was just put up yesterday. That one's weird. I'm pretty sure it was donated by Netflix again this year. But last year it was donated by Netflix for the first time. And to get it here from wherever it came from, they chopped off all the limbs and they just brought over like the main part of the tree is, and they stuck all the limbs back on. So that's kind of weird. But it looked nice once they did it. And so they did the same thing this year. So they're still attaching the limbs. Deb just got here. Why am I doing Tipsy Tuesday from home? Because I didn't want to go out drinking at 5 o'clock. We have the restrictions on restaurants have to close at 6. So that's why we've been doing Tipsy Tuesday earlier the last couple weeks. I'm hoping that ends soon and we can go back to a normal time, like in a bar instead of my dining room. So that's why I did it from home today. I just thought I would do it at 7 o'clock, 7 o'clock my time, and just do it from home this week. So that's why I'm here. Sweet 16 celebrations? I don't think so. I don't know that 16 is as big a deal here because they don't start driving at 16. So we'll just have a little birthday celebration for Amelia tomorrow. DJ asks the latest status of Apple Store opening. Still no update on the Apple Store. Somebody I know that works with Apple Retail said that they hope it's done before the end of the year. But there's still no certainty on that. Oh, Lainey's here. Hi, good to see you. Christina just says it's not. I don't know what she's talking about. Maybe the 16 thing. Enjoyed my walk on Thanksgiving. Oh, thank you. if you didn't catch that, it's on YouTube, and I think is it on Facebook? It's definitely on YouTube. It's also on my website. On Thanksgiving, I walked around for about 5 hours, and I live streamed all day, and I just walked all over, like the Spanish Steps, Trevi Fountain, the Pantheon, an overview by the Colosseum. It was nice. It was a nice day. A good way to just enjoy Rome. Beautiful, perfect day. Now it's all rainy and cold. It's supposed to rain for the next week. If you ship a package from the USA to Italy, will it be delivered? Yeah, we've had no trouble getting things delivered here. Christina says 18 is a big birthday here. Yeah, so I guess 18 is when they do the big stuff, because that's when you can drive, and that's when you're 18. So yeah, not a sweet 16 thing. Are they doing the same thing with the Rockefeller tree? Oh yeah, because it did look ridiculous when they put it up. Yeah, Laura, so you missed part of the Thanksgiving walks. So you can go back and watch it. It's like a 3 or 4 hour video that I posted when I kind of put it all together and kind of cropped some of it out. So I don't know if you want to watch all of it, because it's a lot of that's a lot of walking. But it was good. Joni says about shipping to Italy. No trouble except for the box of school books. Yeah, so that's pretty funny. My mom shipped a box of school books to us, and she sent it through someone else here, a friend, and I don't know if I can say that. Anyway, it was supposed to be like a couple days, and it took, I think, a couple months. And when it arrived, the box was just destroyed, and like the whole side of the box was off, and it was kind of taped over. And I posted a picture somewhere, I don't know where, but it's pretty funny. I think everything survived. There was a box of cereal in there. It was kind of a surprise, an American cereal. And it was destroyed, the box was, but the cereal survived. Yeah, that was pretty funny. What is my occupation? Right now, it's Tipsy Tuesday is my occupation. No, I organize and lead pilgrimages, and I do day pilgrimage tours around Rome. So I've been doing that for almost 16 years, minus this last year, because obviously nobody's in Rome. And so now I just show people around virtually. I do a lot of live streaming, and started a podcast a couple weeks ago. So yeah, now all my tours are virtual. But you can find all that out on my website, catholictraveler.com. What else? Kathleen says, how many miles did I walk on Thanksgiving? Not as many as I thought. It ended up being like 7 miles, which it felt like a lot more. I don't know why. Maybe because I took an hour and a half for lunch at Abruzzi that day. It just seemed like I was out longer than I was. It was only 5 hours. So not like my birthday. On my birthday, that's when I visit however many years I am. That's how many churches I visit. So like 45 churches would have been this year, although we had coronavirus stuff going on. So I didn't do that. But yeah, so those days I usually walk like 18 miles. So yeah, this year it was only, I think, around 7 miles for the Thanksgiving walk. What else? I'm reading comments on both devices. Today I'm streaming to Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Just trying things out. I'm home now, so I have a little more control over the connection, and so it should be good no matter what. Hi, Veronica, North Carolina. I've been very inventive, John says. Thank you. Yeah, it was actually once the quarantine lifted and I realized nobody was coming back to Rome for a while, and I wasn't going to get to go home for a while. That's when I realized I had to do something. And I had a couple of different friends tell me that, because they knew I was getting kind of depressed, they said I just needed to get out and start showing people stuff. And so that's what I did. And so it's been really nice. All right, scrolling. Monica says when she retires, she likes the idea of Tipsy Tuesday. Tipsy Tuesday's fun. Any Patreon events coming up? Yeah, so I do have the Patreon. You can access that through my website or just go to Patreon and look up The Catholic Traveler. And I do live events just for patrons. Last month we cooked. We did a cooking class. We're going to do another cooking class this month, but there's also going to be more short church tours. So probably pretty soon. Everything is getting set up for Advent, so all the nativities are going up. And I definitely want to do some patron stuff with some of the nativities around Rome, because every church just goes all out and they're gorgeous. And I think that'll be very special. But the other cooking class is going to be Carbonara, which is, if you don't know what carbonara is, the way that we make it is with rigatoni pasta, and it has egg, guanciale, which is pork, kind of Italian bacon, and pecorino cheese, black pepper, a little Parmesan on top. And it's really simple. It's a really simple dish because that's all you put in it. But it's also very difficult because when you make it, you put the raw egg in with the noodles, and if you're not careful, if you like keep it on the heat or if it gets too hot, you'll end up with scrambled eggs on your pasta, which is awful. So although it's super simple, it's also kind of tricky. And so before we do it, my wife has perfected it and she's made it for us a few times, but she's still nervous about it and she doesn't want to mess up in front of a couple hundred people. So she's going to practice that on us like she did with the Amatriciana. We had that like every day for a week, even though she's been making that perfectly for like a year. So, but it was fun. It was fun doing the cooking class. The whole family was there and I liked it. So we're definitely going to do, I think we're going to try to do a cooking class every month in addition to like a patron event where I take you on like a private tour. So yeah. Sarah says her school would be unhappy if she joined me for Tipsy Tuesday. I understand, but maybe in the summer or whenever we're on a trip together again, Sarah, we can do Tipsy Tuesday live together. That would be good. I was asked like what's going to happen when tours start back, like how am I going to do my Tipsy Tuesdays? And I was thinking like if I have, you know, a couple or family with me, maybe they'll be on Tipsy Tuesday. Or if I have a whole group and say we're in a CC, maybe Tipsy Tuesday will be from the bar. Because when we do our pilgrimages, we always have like a happy hour. So like in a CC, we go sit on the piazza, we drink Aperol Spritz before we go to dinner. So that could be like a fun Tipsy Tuesday, like a Tipsy Tuesday with a whole group. So, but who knows where that's going to be. Oh, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, because a lot of people keep asking me about this and sending me this, is you may have heard that, what's the airline? Delta. Delta is starting, I think this week. Is it this week? This week or next week? They're going to start a quarantine-free flight between Rome and Atlanta, Rome and New York, and Rome and Newark, so New York, JFK and Newark and Atlanta. And so that's a good sign because they're doing more things, like flights aren't completely blocked or not as restricted. But it doesn't mean that Rome is open. These are still flights that are for essential travel. So people that have to come here for work or to be reunited with family. But what the quarantine-free part means is that when they arrive, they don't have to quarantine. Because if you're coming here for work, then technically, if you flew from, say, Rome to, or from New York to Rome, you would have to quarantine when you got here. And it's like self-quarantine, so they don't like stick you in a hotel or something. But you would quarantine at wherever you're staying. But with the quarantine-free flights, you're tested, you get like a thorough test, I think, a week before maybe, and then you're tested at the airport, and then you're tested at the airport in the US, and you're tested again here when you land, and you have to be negative, of course, all 3 times. And then you don't have to quarantine. But those, again, are only for essential travel reasons. So not tourism, unfortunately. But it's still a good sign because things are opening up, even if it is just still essential. Let's see, scrolling through. What is my favorite Thanksgiving pie? Pumpkin pie that my dad makes. That's my favorite. But I like all kinds of pies. But I think really we just always do pumpkin pie. He might chime in, or my mom, but I think we just do pumpkin pie. I don't even remember having other pies usually. Any day that ends in day is tipsy, says DJ. Oh, on my pilgrimage. Some people might not understand that. On my pilgrimages, I have always, since the very beginning, nearly 16 years ago, I've always included unlimited wine. And it wasn't to get people tipsy, it's because I think it's silly to, like most pilgrimage companies, they might include 1 glass of wine or something, but anything above that, like if you got another glass of wine or something, at the end of dinner, they come around with a bill, and you have to be like, oh, I had 2 glasses of wine, then you have to go pay, and then you're supposed to tip, and it's too much trouble. So I've always included everything. And so when there's unlimited wine, people do often get tipsy at dinners. And so DJ is saying that every day is tipsy on the pilgrimages because people are enjoying the wine, not because it's like a big drunken fest, just happily tipsy. Sherry says Archbishop of DC became a cardinal. He was my Archbishop in Atlanta. Actually, my first pilgrimage was for his when he received the pallium from Pope Benedict in 2005. But yeah, he just became a cardinal. And I posted a picture yesterday that I ran into one of the cardinals. I already forgot his name. He's one of the Italian ones. But funny story about him is that he's really young. He's only 55, so he's the 3rd youngest cardinal. I think there's one other guy that's 55, and then maybe one that's 54 or something. So super young. He's going to be a cardinal a long time. But also he was just a priest. He wasn't a bishop. And so because of that, so to be a cardinal, you have to be a bishop. And so I think he found out like after the Pope announced it or something. And they had to make him a bishop before he became a cardinal. And so last week in Assisi, which is where he lives, he became a bishop, and he was only bishop for maybe a week, and then he became a cardinal. And then I kind of asked the question that when I saw him, he was at a vestment shop, so getting some new cardinal gear, like the red cassock that they wear. Then there's the black cassock with the red piping, and then they have the red sash, and they have the red zucchetto. But then I was wondering if he was only bishop or if he was only a bishop for a week, did he go out and get the purple that the bishops wear? I'm sure he didn't. But then I was kind of jokingly wondering, because that's a nice color. I would hate to miss out on the purple. It's a really pretty purple. What else? Is Holy Mass celebrated? Of course. Sylvia's asking if Mass is celebrated on my pilgrimage. Every day. We have Mass every day. Yeah, in wonderful spots. So in the Holy Land, we do things like Mass in the Tomb of the Holy Sepulchre or on Calvary Hill. In Rome, we have Mass, sometimes at JP2's tomb or Pius X, and all the churches of Rome, St. Mary Major. So yeah, we have Mass every day. That's like everything revolves around Mass. So when I put the itinerary together, I know like we're going to be in Rome this many days or Assisi or whatever. But everything is dependent on the Mass. And so I make the Mass requests. And then once those are confirmed, I put the itinerary around where we're having Mass for that day. What else? More cooking class stuff. People love that cooking class, patrons cooking class. So if you're not a patron, you can still sign up and you have access to all the previous events that we've done. So if you missed the cooking class, you can always go back and watch that if you become a patron. Laura was able to find guanciale. That's good. Quite a few people found the guanciale. I was surprised because when we've looked for it, back when we lived in the US, it was, I don't think we ever found it. We always had to use pancetta, which it works, but it's not the same. It's not the same kind of cut. But yeah, Kathleen has made the amatriciana 3 times. Wow. I'll have to tell Christina. What else here? Loretta asks, what place do I want to take a pilgrimage that you've never been? For next year, I was actually, there were a couple pilgrimages I was working on for next year. One was Lebanon, which I don't see that happening for a while after the explosion and all the unrest from that. But I've had a lot of people that want to go to Lebanon, and the food looks amazing. I have a friend that can help me put it together. So I would like to take people to Lebanon at some point. I was also working on a river cruise, and that was going to be unique because that's not like really my style. But the plan for that was I was going to have the whole boat. And so it was just going to be my people. It was going to be a big group because we would take the whole boat. But that's not going to happen next year. But at first I wasn't that excited about it. And then the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. It'd be like a big reunion trip, basically. And we would just be together for a week on a boat. So that'll still happen. It'll just be later on. Other places. So as you know, we're at a, you know this because you're going, Oberammergau. That was supposed to be this year. That was pushed back 2 years. So I'm excited to do that one as well. But other than that, Ireland was a big one that I had never done until a couple years ago. Poland. Jim mentions Poland. Yeah, I was working on a Poland trip too. Everything got all messed up. So I've never taken a group to Poland, but that is in the works. But next year I'm excited because, not next year, 2022, because of Germany and Austria. I'm really excited to do the Oberammergau. Honey Joe likes the boat idea. Yeah, of course you're going to be on the boat, honey. Yeah, I think that the river cruise will be really nice. I normally wouldn't like that if it was different groups together or just random people. But if it was all my people, it would be fun. It would be a lot of fun. Yeah, so Vicky, you're supposed to go to Oberammergau. Yeah. Oh, the Camino. Oh, no. You're doing a Camino trip, I think, Honey Joe. I do, like I had talked about doing a short Camino, like 2-week Camino with a small group. And yeah, we'll probably still do that. Like maybe the Portugal way or something. But like the full Camino that some groups do, I don't know that would be for me. I think it would take away from the experience. I know people have done it, and loved it. I just don't know that I would, I don't know. We'll see. But I like the short version that we talked about, Honey Joe. Uh, uh, During the pandemic, you can walk into the Vatican. Yes. So if you've seen any of my videos recently, St. Peter's is completely empty, and there's no line to get in, which I love no line. When we had the Holy Year a couple years ago, there was an entrance just for pilgrims. And so you were able to skip the line. And I love that because I could just walk into St. Peter's anytime I wanted, go to the 5 p.m. Mass every day. Like in normal times, if I want to go to the 5 p.m. Mass at St. Peter's, I have to wait an hour, maybe 2 hours just to get in because there's no fast pass for locals. You have to wait in the line. But now, any time of day, you walk over. They've even done away with, I don't know if you're familiar with St. Peter's, there's like a, for the line, there's like a zigzag thing you have to go through. They took that away. So now you just walk right up. They take your temperature, you go through a metal detector, and then straight into the church. And then when you get in there, the other day I was there, I guess maybe a week ago, and there were 3 people in the church, my daughter and I, one other person, plus security. That was it. It's crazy. And it's like that all the time now, which is really sad, but it's also really amazing that we are able to experience it like that right now. Let's see. What time of year are my pilgrimages in Rome? All times. I've done pilgrimages every month of the year. So I love every month in Rome. I love every month in Assisi. Even the rainy season, like in Rome, it's usually rainy for a day or two, except now it's supposed to rain all week. So yeah, I like Rome any time of year. And yeah, but whenever I do pilgrimages, they're always posted on my website. So thecatholictraveler.com, you can go there and you can check them out. I don't think there's any Rome pilgrimages up right now because we don't know when things are going to start again. Scotland. Oh, yeah, I was going to do a Scotland trip. That's the other place I want to go. I have a wonderful guide for Scotland. He's also my guide for Ireland. And we were planning a trip, which obviously didn't work out. So hopefully another time. Tony says, what hotel do I use in Rome? So since the beginning, I've always used Hotel Alamandi, which is right by the Vatican Museums. When he is full, there are a few other hotels I use. There's one on my street called Conciliazione that I really like. And so I've been keeping groups there lately. But I always try to stay in the Vatican area. Let's see. Full Camino by yourself. I think so too. John says the February off-season trip was tremendous. I agree. So I usually do a yearly, sometimes I do it a couple times a year, an off-season pilgrimage to Rome and Assisi in February. And those usually sell out pretty quickly because the prices are low, lower than high season. And also, it's just an amazing time to be here because there are no crowds, which seems silly to say now because a February crowd right now would be really crowded. But yeah, so my February trips are a lot of fun. And this year we had just the best weather. It was like light jacket weather, the sun every day. I think maybe it rained one day or something, but that was an amazing experience. And because it's off season, we also have access to some things that are harder to do in the high season. And so we did, what did we do? Yeah, we did no, we didn't do that. I don't remember. I can't remember. We did something. Well, we did like cooking classes, just things that are harder to do when it's a high season. Okay. Can Americans quarantine? No, you still have to have a reason for coming here. So Loretta's asking, can Americans quarantine and then tour? No. But I know people that have come here for work reasons, and they're more like work reasons. So there are ways to get in. Yeah, I don't know. But you can't just come be a tourist right now. Other questions? Ronnie's leaving. See you later, Ronnie. Prague. Yeah, Prague is another place that I'm hoping to take people. Kathleen asks, how do I find all the wonderful hotels? So the hotel we stayed in, you were in France, Spain, Portugal. The one in Lourdes, I found the first time I went, and I've always stayed there with groups, and when I've gone by myself. All the other hotels were recommended. So some of those cities, it was the first time for me. My mom says Croatia. Yeah, we need to go to Croatia. There's still a lot of places I need to take people. What other questions do you have? I know there's some more people jumped on. So if you missed it at the beginning, today's Tipsy Tuesday is from my living room. Because of the restrictions here in Rome with the restaurants and bars closing at 6, I didn't feel like drinking at 5 o'clock like I have been the last few weeks. And so I decided to keep it at our usual time, which is 7 o'clock for me, and just do a Tipsy Tuesday from home today. So I'm drinking red wine in my living room. I drink less at home because most of our Tipsy Tuesdays, I go through 2 drinks. And I've only had this was only up to here when I started. Yeah, so what else? We're almost at an hour, so it's almost over. Do you have any more questions? Do I have any more stories? I don't know. Golf. Yeah, Monica, golf. That was one of the things when I was planning the Scotland trip, was we were going to include a day for golfing. Well, you wouldn't have to golf, but it would be like if you want to do this, you can go golfing or you can go see the city. If you didn't live in Rome, what would be my next choice? If I could live anywhere and do my job, it would be Paris, probably. I love Paris. But other than Rome, maybe Assisi. I love Assisi too. That's a completely different vibe than Rome because it's not a big city, but that would be nice. Richard says, you love all the information I share. Thank you. When I started the Catholic Traveler, the main thing I wanted to do is be able to share the faith through travel, whether that was being here in person or doing it virtually. So I was doing virtual even before it was cool, just with social media stuff. Is it raining? Yeah, can you hear the rain? I have the window open because my ceilings here are really high and there's always this echo. So I thought if I open the window, one, you would hear some of Rome because you can hear the bells of St. Peter's from my living room. It has to be really quiet though. And also you can hear sirens, which that's not good, but it kind of reminds people of Rome. But also it would help reduce some of the echo. What else? Do I follow soccer? No, not at all. Sorry, Jack. I don't follow soccer. We don't we don't have a regular TV. We have a TV for watching movies, but we don't have a signal. So we don't watch any sports really. Yeah, but if I was going to pick a team for Italy, it would be Roma, not Lazio. So usually you either like Roma or Lazio. I like Roma because I love Rome, and also their colors are orange, which is my color, and red. So that would be my team, is Roma. Patricia says if she could ever return to Italy, she'd spend more time in Assisi. A few hours is not enough. I agree. The first time I took a group to Assisi was 2 nights, and now I do 3. And on some pilgrimages, if time allows, we do 4. A few hours definitely isn't enough in Assisi, and it's a shame that some people do it that way. I mean, some people, sometimes that's all you have, but some tour groups plan it that way. And you definitely need more time there. If nothing else, just for when all the tourists leave, then that's when Assisi feels like what it would have been like when Francis was there. Quiet, peaceful. Yeah. So you definitely need more time. Come with me next time. We'll definitely spend more nights there. And I'll feed you really well. The food in Assisi, those are some of my favorite meals. What else? My favorite city in Tuscany. I do love Florence. I love Siena. I don't have like any secret hill towns in Tuscany that are my favorite. I spend most of my time just when I go going to Florence because I do love Florence so much. If you have any tips though, let me know. You love the bells. Yeah, everybody loves the bells. I try to post different bells. It's easiest for me to post St. Peter's because it's right here. But all the churches, of course, have different bells. And I have a friend who, you may have seen this post last week, a friend here in Rome who, her name is Roberta, and you can find her on Instagram. She loves the churches of Rome as much as I do. And she now has a connection to the bell towers of Rome. And she is supposed to, she might even be on here, I don't know, she's usually watching. She's supposed to be getting me in to some bell towers at some point. But I shared one of her videos last week where she went to, what church is it? It's the one right by Trajan's Market. And she was able to go up to the dome and into the bell tower. And she also went up into San Pietro in Vincoli, St. Peter in Chains, into that bell tower. But she has a friend that like makes bells. And so he's going to take us into some bell towers. So watch out for that. But I do like sharing the bells. It's fun. It brings people back to Rome. I know some people like play them during their prayer time. Yeah, so I do love sharing the bells. And I love, since we've been talking about Assisi, one thing I really love about Assisi is here in Rome, most places stop their bells around 8. Like St. Peter's, they end at 8. St. Mary Major, they have a 9 o'clock bell. But a lot of the churches stop their bells by 8 o'clock or so. But in Assisi, they go until, I think it's like 11 p.m. maybe. Then they start back at 5 a.m. So yeah, I see quite a few of you started following Roberta. She does a lot of day trips from Rome too, which is something I can't do because I don't have a car or a Vespa. She drives a Vespa or a car. But she goes to a lot of the towns in the Lazio region. And that's something I wish it was easier for me to do. I might look into renting a car at some point just so I can do that. But she's been taking advantage of like not working and going to all these towns and visiting these tiny little churches that I'd never heard of. Have I thought about getting Slingbox? No, I don't quite know what that is. I'll look into it though. John asks, have I taken groups to Padua, Florence, Venice? Yes, I've taken plenty of groups to Florence. I've taken quite a few groups to Venice, and usually when we do Venice, we will day trip to Padua. The last time was it like September or October of last year? I had a group from St. Anthony of Padua Church, and so we went to Padua for the feast day. And it was really special to be there on the feast, but it was so crowded. Like the wait to get in to visit the tomb it took a long time. But it was very special to be there on the feast day. We're almost at an hour, so I know Instagram kicks us off at an hour. What else do you guys have? All right. I guess I'll wrap it up. Answering your questions. Okay, so new podcast this Thursday. I hope you're listening to the podcast. I'm really enjoying the podcast. This last one was a lot of fun. It was on my neighborhood, the Borgo. And so it's Joni's favorite neighborhood too. And so we just talked about the neighborhood, told some stories about pyramids that were here, churches that were moved, because they actually took apart a church and moved it a block away. People being crucified here. We talked about the executioner. And if Joni's still watching, I think we need to do a whole podcast on the executioner, because I have a lot of info on him and it's really cool. No, it's not like executioners are cool. It's cool history of the church. Charles Dickens even attended one of the papal executions and wrote about it. So I think that's going to be a podcast. Maybe we'll wait till after Advent. It doesn't seem very Adventy. No, Joni says no. You don't want to do an executioner podcast? Fine, I'll do it by myself. It'll be a solo mountain podcast on the executioner of Rome. There's really good stories about him. Anyway, listen to the podcast. New podcast is Thursday. It was recorded at the Vatican, and we talk about St. Peter. Get ready for lots of controversy. I didn't come up with the executioner for the Pope. Anyway, new podcast Thursday. You can find it on iTunes. It's everywhere else podcasts are as well. It's also my website. You can just listen directly there if you don't want to subscribe to it. It helps a lot if you rate it. If you go to iTunes and rate it. Do a patron event about the executioner. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. No, I think a lot of people would like the executioner. I'll just do a video. I can take you to all the spots. There's spots all over Rome, like where he did his executions, where they happened, signs about what happened. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'm talking about executioners. I'm going to sign off. Hope you enjoyed Tipsy Tuesday from home. Oh, subscribe. Subscribe to the podcast. I know, but not everybody uses iTunes. If you're on iTunes, you need to subscribe to the podcast. That's a big help. Okay. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Go be a patron if you can. Listen to the podcast. Happy Advent. And I'll talk to you next week. But not on Tuesday, because it's going to be moved. So watch for that. Ciao.